Skinner's voice in the first person, the book was a joint effort. It is due to her talent as a raconteur, Skinner wrote of her co-author, that this book has come to be. Emily, who has the memory of an elephant, was able to recall every detail of those giddy months. It wasn't only memory that Kimbrough brought to Our Hearts Were Young and Gay. Both her zest for living as contagious as chickenpox and her ability to attract incident as surge attracts lint contribute greatly to the book's infectious hilarity. From its very beginning, the flavor of the work is deliciously evident, as Emily surprises a naked man in his hotel room before the girls have even embarked. From Montreal to London to Paris, episode follows upon episode, absurdity upon absurdity, shipwreck in the St. Lawrence River, an astonishingly funny game of deck tennis, Emily hitting a drowning man with a deck chair, Cornelia breaking out with the measles, both girls oblivious to the ill repute of the house in Dieppe where they found lodging one night, with sightseeing and romantic yearnings coming in between. This nostalgic and innocent book is a marvelous voyage, so bright with life and comedy and an air of happy coincidence that it's very hard to put down and nearly impossible to forget. James Mustish, Jr., September 2004. Lest the reader should be in any doubt, we wish to state that the incidents in this book are all true and the characters completely non-fictitious. Chapter 1. We had been planning the trip for over a year. Pinching, scraping, and going without sodas, we had salvaged from our allowances and the small-time jobs we each had found the preceding vacation the sum of $80, which was the cost of a minimum passage on a Canadian Pacific liner of the cabin class. Our respective families had augmented our finances by letters of credit generous enough to permit us to live for 3 months abroad, if not in the lap of luxury, at least on the knees of comfort. For months we had been exchanging letters, brimming over with rapturous plans and lyric anticipation, and now June had really rolled around, and the happy expectancy of the brides-to-be of that year had nothing on us. It was settled we could meet in Montreal at whatever hotel it is that isn't the Ritz. I, clutching and occasionally kissing our steamship passage, was arriving from New York, Emily from Buffalo. That is, I hoped Emily was arriving. Emily's notions concerning geography, like some of her other notions, were enthusiastic but lacking in accuracy. Some weeks previous she had sent me a rhapsodic letter which ended with the alarming words, "I live for the moment when our boat pushes out from that dock in Winnipeg." I had written back in a panic and block letters stating, somewhat crushingly, I thought, that the CPO seldom sent its ships overland, that we were sailing from Montreal, province of Quebec, that the name of our vessel was a Montcalm, and the date June 10th, the year of our Lord I shan't say which, because Emily and I have now reached the time in life when not only do we lie about our ages, we forget what we said they are. Emily wrote back not to worry, darling, that she had it all straight now. Moreover, she was being motored up from Buffalo by friends who had been abroad often and who wouldn't dream of driving her to the wrong place. They would arrive sometime the afternoon of the 9th. No such traveled and plutocratic friends offered to motor me to Canada, so I purchased an upper on the Montreal sleeper, a bit of misguided economy because once aboard the train I had to pay for another upper in order to accommodate my collection of luggage. The Skinners have ever, I believe, been respectable, God-fearing folk, but in those days my family made up for the lack of a skeleton in the closet by having extremely disreputable-looking luggage. Mother, the most exquisite of women, was fastidious to a degree when it came to the care of her clothes and mine, but she didn't care what she packed them in as long as the receptacle was clean. Consequently, on this, the occasion of my first long trip on my own, she had, with loving care and acres of tissue paper, stowed my effects in an assortment of containers that ranged from a canvas trunk Father had used when he played at Daly's to a patent leather thing for hats that looked like a cover for a bass drum. There was a strap-bound straw affair known for some reason as a telescope and various other oddments. I was made to carry my good coat, the one in which I traveled was my everyday, on a stout hanger in a voluminous green dress bag which had a hole at the top, and through that emerged the hook for hanging it up. It was a formidable-looking contrivance.